Hello and welcome to the latest video of Millennial Money. Here I'm with Damien Fahy, founder of Money to the Masses, and today I'm going to ask him some pension saving tips for you if you're in your 20s. So Damien, fire away.
So the first thing to do if you are over the age of 22 and you are employed and you earn at least £10,000 is auto-enroll through your employer's scheme. That way they will contribute towards your pension and you do at the same time, so you get started early. Now the thing is, the earlier that you start pension saving, the better, because of the idea of compounding. Now the compounding is one of the wonders of the world. If you want to understand what it means, then it is, if you imagine a chessboard where you put one grain of rice in one corner and then you double the amount on the next square. So you do 2, next square you do 4. You do that all the way through until you get to the 64th square. Then you would have a ridiculous amount of rice, and I can't remember, Lord, how much it is, but it's
18 million trillion grains of rice.
So you can imagine how big that is. So that is the power of compounding. So it's about your pension contributions rolling up. So start as early as you can. Then the other option is, if you want to save more money, you don't want to save it into pension, then you could also save it via a stocks and shares ISA, or indeed a cash ISA, because you could access the money before you're 55. Now, the other thing I would always suggest is educate yourself. So try and read around pensions, learn a bit about how they work, a bit about investing at the same time, about where your money in your pension is actually being invested. So what fund are you in? Are you in the default fund? So there's plenty of advice out there. Go and look on moneytothemasses.com for some information around investing. And don't forget to watch our midweek market show where I talk about what's going on in the investment world. Now, the final thing I would say is, if you are self-employed, then of course you can open up a SIPP. So that's a self-invested personal pension, where you could put money in yourself. So you could put in money each month, or you could put in lump sums, and you choose the investments within that. So that is an option for you. Go and look at that. And of course, if you are in your 20s, you may be interested in lifetime ISAs. Now, we do a whole article on the website about lifetime ISAs. They can be used towards a pension or indeed buying a house. If you want to find out more about lifetime ISAs and how they interact with pensions, then go and look at our website.
And just before we finish, there's one more tip, isn't there, about the size of your contributions?
Yeah, so one of the things, if you imagine your pension pot, if you're trying to grow it because you're trying to get it as big as possible, when you start out, the biggest influence on the size of your pension pot is not actually the risk you take. So if you're young, you'll naturally probably take more risk than somebody who's older, because you've got a much longer time frame until you're going to draw from it, because you can't take from your pension until you're over the age of 55. Now, if you are young, if you think about it, you could take a lot of risk, but because you've put small amounts of money in, the amount you're putting in versus the size of the pot, the risk element you're taking, it won't have a big impact. So let's imagine you had £100 pension pot and you doubled your money. So you had an investment that doubled in size. That's only going to go to £200. Of course, if you paid £50 a month into your pension, very quickly your pension pot will grow very quickly, much bigger than £200. So when you're young, the message is the quickest way to grow the size of your pension pot is not by being reckless with risk, it's to pay more in. And as you get older, that dynamic changes. So you can imagine when you're like older and you're sort of towards your retirement age, it's the amount of return on your investment that has the biggest impact, because your pot will be much, much bigger rather than the amount you put in on contributions, because they're very, very limited.
Okay, so that's it for this week's Millennial Money video. Thanks so much for watching. If you liked this video today, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us over on our social media channels. So our Facebook, Money to the Masses, our Instagram at Money to the Masses, and our Twitter at Money to the Masses with the number 2. Thanks so much for watching. See you next week.